Ishmael Reed, you were unhappy with the film The Color Purple and the way it portrayed black men. Why?
Well, in my new book, Writing is Fighting, plug, I
That's okay.
outlined some of my reservations about the film. I thought it was a contradiction for the writer and the industry behind the writer. This is a collective decision. It wasn't her decision alone. They had a meeting, these feminists. I thought it was a contradiction for them to take a film about black male chauvinism to the biggest male chauvinist in Hollywood. You wouldn't take a film about the Martin Luther King to Bull Connor and ask him to do it, okay? For people who say racism and sexism are the same, I couldn't imagine that happening. So this movie was taken to Steven Spielberg, who's been criticized by Asian American organizations, Irish American organizations for his depiction of Irish and Asians in some films. And I understand a new film, which my wife and daughter saw yesterday, is anti-Japanese. So they took this product to him, and the goal apparently was to make money. Do you understand? Now we have a color.
So it distorted Alice's image from her book?
Well, that's up to her. I mean, she was a consultant on the film. She was on the studio working on the film until the commencement of photography.
What did you like? What were the characters? I mean, it was one story about a not very nice man.
I mean, she has the right to write what she wants to, and Hollywood has the right to I mean, this is Martin Luther King Day. We're for freedom. I'm not for censorship. They have the right to do what they want. I'm just pointing out the contradictions in the feminist ideology. And now we have another Color Purple clone coming up where they're going to do a lot of these because they made a lot of money, made over $100 million. So, and I understand from Fortune 500 that Steven Spielberg's almost a billionaire. So, you know, we're like a natural resource. That's one thing black males are. They take our stuff and make a lot of money out of it. Yeah, we should hire ourselves up like the coal industry or something. But anyway, there's a new film coming out which is going to be done by the producers of Rocky. Same thing, a feminist took a product about black male chauvinism and took it to a man who produced a misogynistic movie, Rocky. And the movie Rocky made millions of dollars exploiting the public's fear of black males. You know, you had the scene where Mr. T hit on the man's wife, and that kind of thrilled everybody when he got knocked out or beaten or was conquered by Rocky. So I think one thing about black sexism is it's big business. And that may be the reason that it'll be hard to eradicate it.
So in other words, you're saying that they're making a big business on the misery of black men.
Oh yeah, I mean,
rather than uplifting them.
Sure. And the ironic thing is these people are liberals. You know, the people who participated in this wasn't given us by the right wing. It was given us by liberals in Hollywood were the ones who produced this, and they're producing the next one.
You have a comment.
Yes, I think that we'll all agree that education would be the key to remedying many of the problems that we have in the country today with respect to the images of black male. I'd be interested to hear from some of the Caucasian members of the audience is how they could, how as citizens and taxpayers, we could do something to increase the number of blacks in the graduate schools. I've been teaching in law schools for 12 years, and the highest point of enrollment was during the 68 to 71 period after the Black Panther Party was organized. As you know, there were many more job openings, there were more educational opportunities, but now enrollments are now down, and we want to see how can we increase that.
Well, we're not getting any comments from our wide audience.
Hang on, right here.
Morning.
We've got a comment about education, Merle.
I feel like you're right, and I feel like it's a very lacking part of our society that we don't address the needs of the black student. But I think it needs to start younger than that. I think it needs to start in the grammar schools. And I'd like to know how we can change this to make this happen. What do we need to do? I don't feel that education addresses the needs of the black student.
I totally agree. One of our problems before even the issue of prison, black children are 17% of all children in this country, but they're 41% of all the special ed children. The educationally retarded, the learning disabled children, the behavior disordered children. 17 doesn't equal 41. And if labeled special ed in terms of black children, 85% of the time it's going to be a black boy. See, the real challenge is the female teachers. They have designed a classroom for female students. The student with the least chance of being placed in special ed is the white female, then the black female, then the white male, and then the black male. So white boys also have similar problems with this female-run classroom. In other words, if you know that boys have a higher energy level, a lot more movement in the classroom. If you know that boys are more advanced gross motor, then allow more gross motor activities. If you understand that boys have a higher ego or some other kinds of issues, we need to allow for that more in our classroom. And many times we aren't doing that.
And we need to pay teachers so that black men and white men would like to become educators at early grades.
Vera.
Correct. Correct.
Well, I was an affirmative action officer at a major company for 4 years, and while I was there, one of the programs